Today, we've got a good one for you, ladies and gentlemen. How much money are you going to need for the newest GTA Online DLC? Now, we still don't have an actual name for this DLC, so we're just going to go with the illicit Salvage Yard DLC. Now, in this video, we're going to be talking about the release times. We're going to be talking about how much money you're going to need for the businesses, for the cars. We're also going to be talking about how you can pre-download it right now. But it is going to be a little bit different than usual, because usually I wait till the trailer comes out and we dissect the trailer, and then we talk about how much everything's going to be that we see in the trailer. This time, Rockstar has seemingly forgotten to even promote their latest DLC, most likely because of the GTA 6 hype. They've posted that trailer and they don't want to talk about anything else. I'm going to try to be as realistic as possible with all these prices, and I hope you will agree with me on it. But I'm also going to try to remain positive. If you saw my last couple videos going over the leaks, if you haven't seen those, it's the last couple videos on the channel. I'll leave it linked in the description at the end of this video. I'm showing you the leaks for this new DLC. It sounds promising, but the fact that they haven't promoted it at all, I'm going to try and ignore that fact and hope it's because... I hope it's not because they don't think it's that great and we're not going to love it, so they're not promoting it. But anyway, let's start off with that last one I talked about, which is you can pre-download it currently right now. And I say right now, if you are on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, you can pre-download this DLC right now. For PlayStation 4, it's going to be a 3 GB download, and for PlayStation 5, it's going to be a 6.2. Now here, keep in mind, guys, don't look at the size of this download thinking, oh, it's a big DLC or it's a small one. Take it with a grain of salt. Don't worry about the size of the download. Honestly, it's not worth it. All right, so now that we've gone over the download, let's talk about when is it releasing. So here's the map right here. Feel free to pause it if you want to look wherever you are in the world. But as you can see in Los Santos, if you're over living in there, it's going to be a 2 a.m. release time. If you're in the UK, it's going to be 10 a.m. And if you're in good old Australia, it's going to be 7 p.m. So feel free to take a screenshot of this thing and get excited. If you're on the West Coast, sucks to be you. But obviously, the UK is where they're based out of, so that's kind of where their launch is. 10 a.m. UK time is the launch for these DLCs, and that's always the case. All right, so next up, let's go over things we know, things that we can confirm is coming into this DLC, and then having a guess of how much they're going to cost based off of other vehicles in the game and other businesses. So first things first, Red's Auto Shop, pick up and salvage. This is the illicit Salvage Yard that they have been talking about. So even in the description of this business, they said you can either sell the best vehicles you get to Yusuf, or you can salvage your boosted vehicles for parts. Now, a lot of people have been speculating, thinking how cool would it be if you could take the engine out of one car and put it into another. So you could have like a taxi, for example, that is just drives and goes the speed of a bloody adder. I couldn't think of a name before. You guys know how I am with names, man. But imagine you could put like a Bugatti engine in that taxi or something. You know what I'm saying? So people have been speculating that would be cool. But as far as the prices of this business, so I can assume, let's base this off of the auto shop. Similar size building, similar mechanics. So the auto shop, you're looking at like 1.5 to 2 million. So let's just be, let's overkill on this, okay? We don't want to save up a little bit and then be like, oh, it's more. So we're going to go for the more. So we're going to say this is going to be 2 million, and that'll leave us a lot of room to play with. So 1.5 to 2 million. And then on top of that, you're going to have upgrades. So just like all of the businesses we get in this game, you can upgrade it. Even businesses like the Acid Lab, there was like $1 million upgrade you could do to it. If you look at the auto shop, you can spend up to like $1 million renovating it, adding your bedrooms, all of that stuff. Same thing for the nightclub, same thing for the arcade. So we can assume that there's going to be upgrades, and the upgrades typically cost more than the business itself. So I'm going to feel comfortable saying another 2 million in upgrades, which is going to round us up to, quick math, 4 million. Now, another thing about this business, I did a video on this location and this truck. Keep in mind, we're going to have to pay for this truck. We'll talk about that here in a second. But this picture, this building, you can go here in real life, in the game. But that doesn't necessarily mean that this is the only location. It could be like other businesses where we're going to be able to buy one all around the map. We don't know that yet because they haven't released any information or the trailer. It's been kind of weird. But anyway, let's continue on. Speaking of this truck, we may as well jump straight into this truck. So this is the first vehicle that we'll go over price on. Now, this vehicle is already in GTA, not online, but in the story mode. It's literally just called Tow Truck Utility. It is a utility vehicle, and because of that, we don't know the price because we can't buy it and we can't sell it. And we can't do any upgrades or anything like that to it. But obviously, now that it's coming to online, we're going to be able to buy it. We're going to be able to upgrade it. So I'm guessing the fact that it is a honker of a truck, like if it comes into GTA Online the same as it did, we already know it's a newer version because it's going to be shiny from the picture. But I'm going to say 300,000. Maybe let's go 400,000 for the tow truck. You know what? Let's round it up to 500,000 just in case making it shiny costs that much more. Let's go for 500k for the tow truck. And as I say, if you want to test drive this, I did a video on it, but this thing is available in GTA regularly in story mode right now. It is very sluggish and unresponsive. I'll just say that much. It's a tow truck. What more do you want from it? But yeah, even let's say it's 500k upgrades for this thing. I don't think I'm going to include that in the price of this whole DLC because that's a personal thing, but I'm sure you can spend another 500,000 upgrade in this thing. Next up on a car that we know we're getting for sure 100% is the Grotti Turismo Omaggio, which is a GT car. It's based off of the Ferrari F8 Tributo. Beautiful car. Now, here's the thing with this one. How much? I'm going to guess 2.5 million. During the San Andreas Mercenaries DLC, we got this, the GTO Stinger TT. Now, it's based off of the Ferrari, what's the name of it? The Ferrari Roma. I don't like that car in real life. It's not too bad in the game. It's a bit heavy. But anyway, that's not what this is about. That car came out for the San Andreas Mercenaries DLC, and that one, I think, was 2.3 million. It was actually just under 2.4 million. So with that in mind, I think this is going to be much better than the Roma. So I'm going to say this is going to be 2.8 million. Now, other cars that we know that are confirmed is this one right here. Some people are saying it's like a Toyota Camry. I'm not sure quite what this is. I don't think it's going to be in the million or close to the $1 million range. I'm going to go and say this. Maybe it will be though, man. There's no way the GTA is going to release this car the same price as the Bugatti Veyron, right? That thing, the Adder, is $1 million. There's no way this is going to be $1 million. But we've talked about this before. The Rockstars, like, their prices are so messed up in this game. It's unbelievable. But I'm going to say that this thing, I'm going to just say 800,000. I think that is still overpriced. But they're using it as a drift car. But I'm going to say 800k. There's no way this is $1 million, right? I mean, that being said, last DLC, we got the wagon here. And this thing was 1.2 million. So, I mean, it looks much better. You know what? We're going to say $1 million. We're going to round it up to $1 million. I hope it's not $1 million. But it could be. Rockstar logic. But I hope to God that thing's not $1 million, man. So some people are also speculating that this is a new motorcycle. Now, I don't know for sure. I'm not that big into motorcycles in this game, and I couldn't tell you if this is new or not. So I'm not going to speculate. But if it is a new motorcycle, let's just say add on another $1 million. I'm not going to do it because I don't know if it's new or not. All right, so as far as confirmed vehicles go, the only other picture we have of vehicles that they've given us, because we didn't get a trailer, is this picture right here of the drifting. Now, we know we're going to be able to upgrade our cars to drift. But these 3 vehicles are not new. But I would guess they're introducing drifting. I think we're going to get, other than that Camry, I think we'll probably get 2 drifting cars specifically for this drifting. And I'm going to price those at 1.5 million each. I think that's a pretty safe space. 1.5 million. It could go up to 2. It could drop a little bit lower to like 1.2. But I think on average, 1.5 is a good one. For this specific type of car. Now, of course, the upgrades for these, that's a different story, but that's based off of what you want to do. But I'm going to say 1.5 million for each, and I think there's going to be 2 drift cars coming for this DLC. And again, this is all speculation. This is me guessing this part because we don't have a bloody trailer. So again, since we don't have any information, I'm going to assume there's going to be like 6 DLC cars. And these little beauties right here, these are the cars that were released during San Andreas Mercenaries. This doesn't include the La Carouse. This car right here, this one was released. I don't think it was part of the Mercenaries DLC, but that one was like 2.5 million. But these, we can get an idea of how much the cars cost in the last DLC. So obviously, we got the Hot Ring Hellfire, which was 1.8. Now that was, I think, is going to be similar to like the drift vehicles. This one's 1.8. I said 1.5. It could be lower. Who knows? And then obviously we got the EVX that was coming in at 2.1. Like I said about the wagon, that was 1.2. The Stinger, 2.3. So I would say on average, these are averaging out about 1.5 million. Now, we already know we're getting the tow trucks. That's 1 car. We know we're getting the Ferrari Omaggio, the Grotti Omaggio. So that's 2 cars. Then we have the Camry, that weird looking thing. That's 3 cars. And then I've already said 2 drift cars. So that's 5 cars we've got so far. So I mean, this is 7. I was going to say, I think there's going to be 6. I'm going to be conservative again. It could be more cars. It could be less. But I'm just going to be on the safe side and say 6 cars. So we'll add 1 more car to my totals here. And I'm going to add that one as well at 1.5 million. So guys, that is actually all of the prices for things. So let's tally all of this up. So for the business, like I say, buying the business and upgrades, that's going to be 4 million. And then for 6 new vehicles, I personally think it may go a little bit more than that, but I think 6 is a very conservative number. We'll just go with 6. If they're anywhere near where I said, they're going to be 8.8 million, which is going to put the total of that to 12.8 million. Now, if you are on console, or I should say, well, yeah, console, if you have GTA Plus and you're going to be purchasing the new 100 car garage, it's going to be a little bit more money you're going to need. So let's put it into perspective. So the 50 car garage, the Eclipse Boulevard garage, that's 2.7 million, almost 2.8 million. So that's 50 cars. So let's double it. You're going to be at around 5 million. So if you're on console and you have GTA Plus, you're looking at around 17.8 million. Now, I always say during these DLCs, the safe spot for any DLC, and this is if you want to buy everything the DLC has to offer, from the business to upgrading it to all of the vehicles, 20 million is always a safe place to be. But you're not going to need that much money. Even the 12.8 million that I've said you're going to need for this, you're not going to need it right away off the bat, because they're not going to release all of the cars at once. They're probably going to release 1 or 2 when the DLC comes out on Tuesday, and then the rest of them is going to be drip feed content over the next couple months. But as far as the business upgrades, and maybe 1 car, you're definitely going to get that right off the bat. So you're going to need at least like 6 million for day 1. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you think we're going to get more cars? Do you think we're going to get less cars? Do you think I was right on the money as far as this DLC cost? Well, let me know what you think it's going to cost in the comment section down below. But anyway, hopefully, maybe we'll get a trailer tomorrow and we can actually dive deep into it. I still think, even if we had a trailer, I still think we're going to be pretty much on the money for this one. But I will obviously update it and change it if we do get a trailer and some more information. I'll do that tomorrow. But anyway, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video. Goodbye!